order. We'll start with a roll call.
Present this evening, Monday, March 11th, 2024, are Mayor C. Holland Purdue III and Vice Mayor Billy W. Stockton. Council members A. Ralph Casey, David K. Clements, J. Tyler Lee, Benjamin K. Mullins, and Mark H. Newbill. Also participating this evening are staff members as noted.
We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Prior to the approval of the agenda, I would ask to add under special items the resolution to honor Ron Hodges. If there are no other additions or corrections, I'd ask for an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll ask for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Come down here. All right. So we have the resolution of the Town of Rocky Mount honoring Ronald Ray Ron Hodges. Whereas Ronald Ray Ron Hodges, affectionately known as Hodjo or Pop, by his friends and family, was born June 22nd, 1949 in Rocky Mount to the late Tony and Daisy Hodges, and passed after a short illness on November 24th, 2023 at the age of 74. And whereas Ron was a standout athlete at Franklin County High School before graduating in 1968 and playing collegiate baseball at Appalachian State University before being drafted by the New York Mets in 1971 and being called up to the major leagues in 1973, where he played 12 seasons until retirement in 1984. And whereas Ron spent his entire career as a catcher with the New York Mets, where he was privileged to catch for the Hall of Fame pitcher Tom Seaver, and he was also part of the 1973 National League East and National League pennant winning team as a rookie, going on to play the Oakland Athletics in the World Series. And whereas Ron was inducted into 4 sports halls of fame, including the Appalachian State University Hall of Fame in 1982, the Roanoke-Salem Baseball Hall of Fame in 1993, the Franklin County High School Hall of Fame in 2018, and the Valley League Baseball Hall of Fame posthumously in 2024. And whereas upon returning home to Rocky Mount after retirement, Ron worked as a realtor for Meadow Spring Land and Realty, now Mountain to Lake Realty, for 30 years until retirement, and he enjoyed coaching sports for many years in Franklin County Youth Recreational Leagues and for the local American Legion Baseball Club. And whereas Ron enjoyed spending time with family, especially his grandsons, Kemper and Caden, watching sporting events, hunting, fishing, back porch rocking chairs, and dancing, as well as playing golf as a member of the Willow Creek Country Club, where he enjoyed many birdie dances. Now, therefore, be it resolved, this 11th day of March 2024, by the Rocky Mount Town Council, the mayor, and town staff, do hereby congratulate the late Ron Hodges and his family for his representation of and service and dedication to the town and its residents. Be it further resolved that June 22nd is officially declared Ron Hodges Day in the town of Rocky Mount, and the citizens and businesses are called to join with the town council in celebrating this occasion and honoring the life of Ronald Ray Ron Hodges. Given under my hand the 11th day of March 2024.
Ron would be
not saying a word here. He was very shy. He didn't want to make a big deal about anything, ever. He would say, "Thank you for making this day necessary." But we want to thank you for honoring him, and this means a lot to his family. Sorry, it's a little close. But thank you so much for the honor. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
If you don't want to stay for the rest of it, we won't. We. No, they were good.
Thank y'all for coming.
Excellent. That's right. See ya. Thanks.
Even heard them during the pledge.
Next, we have the hearing of citizens. We have one person signed up, Miss Glenna Moore.
I'm used to waiting until the end of a meeting.
No, not this time. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Happy Glenna Moore, 45 Scenic River Drive, Rocky Mount, Virginia. Good evening. Happy Women's History Month. This is a perfect time to celebrate the important contributions of Franklin County women. This year's national theme is Women Who Advocate for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Early Franklin County court records show that Black women, free and enslaved, were a vital part of Franklin County's history. One of those women was Nancy Beverly, a free Black woman in the 1700s, the wife of Black Revolutionary War soldier Sylvester Beverly. She was the great-grandmother of Harriet and Samuel Beverly, two brothers who enlisted as United States colored troop soldiers in the Union Army during the Civil War. Unfortunately, the freedoms won in those wars did not create racial equality for Black women. When I was growing up in town, many Black women worked in domestic jobs that paid poorly and didn't qualify for Social Security benefits. They were cooks in restaurants and hotels where they could not eat or sleep. They worked on streets in Rocky Mount where they could not live. They were maids who strolled little white children to Mary Elizabeth Park, where their own children were not allowed. In 1941, African American women in Rocky Mount organized a club and named it to honor one of the most powerful advocates of her time for women's rights, Mary McLeod Bethune. The club's mission was to support the needs of Black children, needs that existed because Rocky Mount's racial segregation policies were harsh. Since Blacks were not welcome at the White Park, the Bethune Club raised money to start a playground where Black children could safely play. In 1945, Mrs. Bethune visited the Booker T. Washington Birthplace Memorial and the Rocky Mount Park named in her honor. Additionally, the club supported the establishment of a school for Black children in the Gills Creek District, Booker T. Washington Elementary School, 1954. During the 1960s and 70s, Black women were key figures in the Franklin County NAACP fight for racially fair employment practices in our local businesses. Because of these efforts, Jim Crow segregation hiring practices were finally curtailed. I invite compassionate Franklin County women to move the last standing symbol of Jim Crow segregation in our town. Thank you, Council, for the recent renovation of the park. Great job.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Having no one else signed up to speak, we'll now move to new business. We'll start with 7.1, the resolution regarding Franklin County Solid Waste Management Plan 2024. Mr. Wood will present.
Council, you had a copy of the Franklin County Solid Waste Management Plan that has been, I think, Jeff, has it already been adopted by the county, or is that next week? Next week, so the count. Okay, so the county will be adopting the plan. They've asked the towns of Rocky Mount and Boone's Mill to pass a resolution in support of the plan, and it's a plan that has to be submitted to the state every 5 years, correct? Every 5 years, so this is just an update to a plan that's been in place for a while. And Jeff can answer questions if anybody has any questions about it.
No?
It's pretty thorough, the packet.
That's good, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, I forgot that you didn't have TVs, so I brought a PowerPoint.
Same.
Is there anybody that would like to make a motion about the resolution?
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion regarding the resolution? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should be easier than the county.
Yeah, be sure and let your board know how long that took.
Yeah.
I will. When can I get the resolution?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
That's probably faster than the county too, isn't it?
All right, I'll stay for the rest.
Next, we'll move for the approval of the memorandum of understanding with Ferrum College Police Department and donation of the surplus police department vehicle. Manager Wood?
Council, you had in your packet a copy of the memorandum of understanding that's already been, was signed by the police chief from the Ferrum College Police Department. And, you know, put it simply, we would like to enter into this agreement with Ferrum College Police Department so that they can use the dog. It's a brand new, I think, addition to the Ferrum Police Department, but to use that in Rocky Mount should it ever be needed. And as part of that, in order to help with having that resource available, we have a vehicle that was used when we used to have a K-9 unit. We don't now, so the vehicle hasn't been used for the past 3 or 4 years. And so we thought it would be a good idea to donate that to the police department out there so they could use it with this new K-9.
I'll make that motion to proceed on.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have an item that's not an action item, capital improvement plan, the CIP for fiscal years 2025, 2029.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The schedule you have before you is very similar to the schedule we've presented in years past for the 5-year capital improvement plan. We have added a couple of new columns this year. Right there in the middle of the schedule, you can see that we have a column for the current fiscal year, and that will just give you some idea of the projects that we have approved for this year in the current year budget, as well as any carryover projects, just how we're doing at this point in the year of our spending on those projects. So that's probably the 3 new columns that you'll see. Then down the left-hand side of the schedule, you'll notice we have all the projects listed for you, sorted by department name. And then as you look over to the right side, you will see that we have the project estimates filled in for you for the next 5 fiscal years. Maybe just another item or two to point out to you. On the 3rd page over, we have the total of what we call the general fund capital. That's sort of the first breaking point in our listing of projects. Then after that, you'll see the utility projects are listed. We always break the general fund projects and the utility fund projects separately so that we can better understand how we need to fund those projects when we present this plan to you as part of the proposed budget. So there on the very back page, you'll find the grand totals. The 5-year proposed CIP is just a little bit under $12 million for the town. And we'll certainly be working on this in the next month, and we'll bring this back to you as part of the proposed budget for next fiscal year. So thank you. Be glad to answer any questions you might have.
I think we're all good. Yeah. Got a couple months to work it out.
Thank you.
No action.
We don't need any action on that. Thank you, Vince.
Sure.
All right. We have a closed session this evening. In order to enter into a closed session, the motion will B, to be moved into a closed session under Virginia Code section cited as section 2.2, 3711A 3 and 7. Do I have a motion to go into closed meeting under the cited code?
So moved.
Have a motion
And second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for attending the meeting. After the closed session, council will return to the chambers.